Okay, Hollywood, take one. And then, you know what, I'll go watch it on my computer and describe it to you how it looks.
Okay. All right. Let's wait till Sarah gets your cat.
So I'll come back in about 5 minutes.
Tabitha thinks she's going to sleep with me.
Come on,
she's
no.
not. I don't know where Sugar is.
Stop it. I'll go up back to him.
Okay. Okay, today is April 20th. I've been reminded all day this is the Great American Smokeout, and I'm supposed to quit smoking today, but I didn't. I had a good day though. I didn't take. Susan and Phyllis and Marilyn took me out for dinner for my birthday, which was last week, and we had a nice dinner at Amy's. In fact, I'm going to go eat my leftovers in a minute. It was really good. I'm sorry. We had a really nice time. It's always nice getting together with your really good friends. And Susan brought us the most delicious cupcakes, some kind of mocha. Oh, they were good. Susan makes the best cupcakes in the world. So anyway, let's see, where do I want to start? Well, I was just thinking of a story that I haven't told lately, or to anybody, I don't think, and that was Joey's, Tina's, and Eric's and my first trip to Oregon to see Ross. And I think that's a good place to start because since he just passed, and I miss him a lot. Even though I didn't get to see him very often, I'm so used to opening up my computer and going to Facebook or email, and there's a nice letter from Ross. Although, he was so worried about his bills and his money, it was so sad. I always felt so bad for him, and I know we all tried to send him money when we could. It's just the lifestyle he lived, and it was really hard. But we decided, us girls got together, and we decided that Ross was never going to come down to California, and if we waited for that, we'd never get to see him. And seeing as how we're all getting older, everyone except Mother, it might be a good idea if we went up to Oregon and saw him. So we made our plans. Tina and I were taking the train. Joey took the plane. Eric flew out. We all decided to meet in Oregon on the same weekend. And I think it was a long weekend, like 4 days. And Ross was so excited. He was so excited to see us. He picked us up in his beat-up Volkswagen van with a fake seatbelt that you held across you so that it looked like you were wearing a seatbelt in case the police came by. It was a mess, and it barely ran, but he was so excited. He was just so excited that we were there. And he took us by so we could see Ellie and see his RV that he lived in with his dog Yogi and all his cats and all his other stuff. And then we got a motel not too far from there, and we all stayed there. He had bikes ready for all of us, and we had so much fun. I didn't know if I could ride a bike with my COPD, but I did, and I rode just as far as everybody did. And I guess Eugene, Oregon is a place for bike riding, and they've got lots of bike paths and stuff. So we rode like crazy, and we went out to his favorite restaurant and ate. And I remember I said something to him about picking wild raspberries up there because I remember doing that as a child at Grandma's house. And he said, "Oh yeah, let's go pick some." So he had some buckets or something, and we went, but they weren't raspberries; they were blackberries. But we picked the wild blackberries anyway, and we took them back to the hotel, and Ross made jam out of them right there in front of us. And he had brought dishes and silverware and cups and a coffee maker, and he had been hunting the thrift stores to get all the stuff he needed so that we could enjoy our weekend and cook in the room. And it was I just can't get over how excited he was to see us all. And we went in the pool, and we talked and we talked and we talked. It was great. It was great. And Eric seemed like the old Eric that we all used to know and love. And he was glad to see his sisters and glad to see his brother. And he acted really special the whole weekend. Like he was glad to be there too. And promised to stay in touch with everybody. And at the end of the weekend when we had to leave, it was real hard leaving Ross. But we went home, all with our tie-dyes, and our tattoos painted on our faces, and so it was really a lot of fun. And then we got home, and Ross tried to call Eric, and he was blocked. I don't remember if the number was changed. I think the number was changed just since the weekend. And so he called us, and we called Eric, and sure enough, the number was changed. None of us could get through to him. So that was a really sad, sad day because we realized that Eric hadn't meant anything that he had said that weekend. He faked the whole weekend. He really didn't enjoy being with his sisters, and he didn't even like his brother. It took me weeks and weeks to get a hold of him. Um, I don't remember how I finally did it, but I finally reached him, and he said that, yep, I was right that he had faked it, that he really couldn't tolerate Eric or Ross. He couldn't tolerate Ross, and that he and I didn't have enough alike, enough in common, that he didn't care if he had any contact with me either. Well, I told him that's certainly his choice. It's not my choice, but that's his choice, and so be it. I was sorry that he felt the need to be phony and say things he didn't mean. That was the whole purpose of the weekend, was for us to get together and kind of talk and get over some hurt feelings, and apparently he decided he was just a better liar than he was telling the truth. But Joey and Tina and I continued to visit Ross every 2 years. We tried to do it every 2 years, but I think we made it about 3 times. And Eric didn't come, of course. By this time, it was all out in the open that he just decided, he didn't like Eric, or he didn't like Ross. And that was okay, because Joey and Tina and I enjoyed going up to see Ross. And each time was a wonderful visit, and I don't regret him for a minute. Tina and I took the train, and that was wonderful. I'd never really ridden on a train before. And each time we went, it got better and better. The first time we went up, we sat in coach, and it's about a 36-hour trip by train. And sitting in coach, trying to sit up sleeping, with kids running up and down the aisle all night and people talking all night, was not a pleasant experience. So we checked with the Amtrak, and on the way back, we were able to get a sleeper, so we stayed in that. So the next trip up, we took the sleeper the whole way up and the whole way back, and that was much better. You get this little teeny tiny room that's smaller than my bathtub, but it makes into bunk beds at night, and at least we were able to lay down and sleep. And it was very nice, very private. We had 2 chairs across from each other with a little table in the middle, and we brought a portable portable DVD player and played some movies, and ate in the dining room. And the train was really nice, really, really nice. Funny story about that was, and I think it was the first time we went up. We were feeling kind of silly, and we said, well, I figured I'd take a bottle of champagne or a bottle of wine. I think it was a bottle of wine. And 2 glasses, so we could toast our trip on the train going to see Ross. And I picked up a bottle of cheap wine at the 99-cent store. Seeing as Tina and I are not wine drinkers, we figured we wouldn't know the difference. So and the way what is he called, the porter, came by, we got settled in our room, and asked did we want that bottle of wine put in the refrigerator. So it stayed cold. We said sure. Meanwhile, on the trip up there was a wine tasting, and I guess quite a few people from the train went to the wine tasting. We didn't. And then at dinner that night, when they seat you with another couple. So everybody sits with people they don't know, so you get to know other people. And we sat with another nice couple who were very nice, and we asked them to get another couple across from us had bought a bottle of wine at the wine sale and the wine tasting. So they asked for their wine, and the porter went and got it and poured it for them, and we each had a glass, and it was okay. And we asked for our bottle of wine, and they couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. They apologized all over the place. Tina and I are both kind of snickering because we thought, well, it was 99-cent wine, big deal, But we didn't tell them that. And when all was said and done, and long story short, Turned out the bottle of wine that they gave to the couple that was sitting with us was our wine, the 99-cent store wine. And these people loved it, thought it was the one they tasted at the wine tasting, and thought it was the greatest wine in the world. We never did tell them that it came from the 99-cent store. We just laughed. Don't know what happened to their bottle of wine, but we all drank that 99-cent wine that night. It was so funny. Still laugh about that. So that was a really good trip. Um, I would love to do it again. The last trip, of course, was not so nice because it was Ross passing away, but I'm glad I went, and I hope he's at peace somewhere. And at the very least, before he died, we were able to tell him that his bills were paid, his rent was paid, and that he could rest in peace knowing that he didn't owe all this money. And even the day before he died, he was just frantic about how he was going to pay his rent, and he'd been evicted, and he had to move, and how was he going to move when he was so sick, and we were able to come to him and tell him truthfully it was all taken care of. We had somebody to move the RV, we gave it away, we paid the rent, took care of that, saved what we could of his stuff to pass on to his daughters, um, took Ellie with us, and so he had nothing more to worry about, and so he was able to die peacefully. So, okay, I'll stop this now and then uh, talk to you tomorrow night. I love you guys.